Hi everybody, this is Score Chaser and this is going to be awesome. Today in Retro Kitchen we are going to be making Zeto's pumpkin and cheese soup from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This is an official recipe from Nintendo, so I'm looking forward to making this and see how it turns out. In order to make this recipe, you will be needing 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 medium onion diced, 1 cup of diced carrots, and 1 cup of diced celery, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 quart of vegetable stock, 1 29-ounce can of pumpkin, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 1 cup of half and half, 4 ounces of fresh goat cheese, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and ground pepper. You will also, in addition to be needing your stove range, you will also be needing a blender or a food processor, we cannot talk today, to further break down the pumpkin and the ingredients in the soup. So that is that. Let's get this show on the road. I have already prepared all the ingredients, dicing and measuring, so that way we could just get right into this. The first step that we need to do is we need to heat the butter, which I've already added to this pot, and we're going to heat it until melting, which should not take that long because it's just the butter in the pot. After your butter is melted, you are going to add to your pot the celery, the carrots, and the onion. We're just going to saute that for 5 minutes. Get you on the kitchen cam. Sautéing is a very easy thing to do. Just like with my last video, you just want to make sure that everything gets warmed and browned. And as I said, this will take 5 minutes to do. So what I will do is I will cut until 5 minutes when we're ready to add the next ingredient. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Now we're just going to add our garlic. And we're going to, again, saute this combination for another 5 minutes. So I will see you again then. Alright, welcome back. We've been sauteing our garlic for about 5 minutes. And now our next step is we're going to add 1 quart of vegetable broth to this mix of vegetables. And we are going to heat this until boiling. And once it boils, we are going to then reduce the heat to a simmer and let it simmer like that for 10 minutes. And it's a good idea, like I'd say about every minute or so, just to give it a good little stir, so that way you keep it, your vegetables and stuff from sticking, which you don't want. So after it does start to boil, as I said, you're going to want to reduce the heat, and you're still going to want to keep stirring it. So once this has reached a boil and has simmered for 10 minutes, we're going to add the pumpkin. So I'm going to jump cut until then. Alright, so our broth and vegetable mix has been simmering for 10 minutes. Remembering to stir occasionally while it's doing so. Now it is time to add the 29-ounce can of pumpkin. Just gonna scoop that into the broth. after you've gotten pumpkin out of the can, you're going to mix in with your broth. And we're going to saute this combination now for about 15 minutes. As you can see, the reason why we're going to need a food processor fairly soon is because this right now has the consistency of applesauce. And what the food processor will do is it'll break it down into a nice, smooth, creamy mixture that we want. So we're going to set our timer for 15 minutes. And we are going to saute. This is already smelling pretty good. So I've got high hopes for this. So we're going to saute this for 15 minutes, stirring about every minute, as I said before. And I will be back with you at the food processor for basically breaking the soup down. We'll see you then. Now, as I said earlier, we're going to be needing to put the soup into this food processor and break it down. I have already transferred the pumpkin and the broth vegetable mixture to this bowl. I am going to scoop it from this bowl to the food processor and then pour it back into the pot. I have no idea how long this particular part will take because I'm going to have to do a lot of back and forth work with this. But you just want to fill up your food processor with as much as you think it can handle and then just let it rip. I would say I'd say count to 20 in your head mentally. You know, make sure that it's really nice and mixed up, and then just transfer it over. Okay, let's check how it looks. Ugh. Okay, it's going to need a lot more than that because it's still very thick. So, as I said, we're going to need to keep blending this. I'll show you how it should look when it's done, but I'll catch you back then. See you in probably about 20 or so minutes. Alright, so it took a lot less time than I imagined, and I also forgot that I'm still going to be adding some more wet ingredients to this. I did each cycle for about 30 seconds in the food processor before returning it to the pot, and it did break down a lot of the pumpkin chunks and vegetable chunks. So now what we're going to do is, as I said, returning the soup to a low heat, we are going to add our remaining ingredients. The can of evaporated milk, the 1/2 cup of half and half, the 4 ounces of goat cheese, should have got a spoon. The recipe had also called for getting crumbled goat cheese to top the soup with, but no grocery stores near me carried it. I was lucky enough just to find the goat cheese. So, I have also never had goat cheese before, so this will also be an experience for me. And the rest of your dry ingredients, which is the salt, brown sugar, and pepper. Now we're just going to stir this together, and we're going to leave it, after everything is stirred, the goat cheese is melted. I'm just going to leave it like that until it is warm enough to serve. And after everything, of course, is well blended. Let me give you a look to see what this is looking like. It's looking really good. It's got a very nice color to it. Very nice aroma. It's got the consistency of soup, which is good, because that's what we were hoping for. Awesome. Alright, so I will check back with you as soon as this is all warmed up and ready, and we will serve it, try it, and I'll let you know my thoughts on how it tastes and if this recipe is worth it or not. Catch you in a moment. So here you see the finished product. It has a very nice color to it, very nice body. It's very aromatic. We're going to give this a try and see if this was worth our efforts. It's not too sweet. It's not too salty. The cheese and the combination of the evaporated milk with the vegetable broth and everything, it just all comes together very nicely. This was a very simple soup to make, even though it appeared to be a lot more complicated than it was. It was worth those extra steps. I can definitely see this restoring all of my hearts on a cold autumn evening. Well, this has been Score Chaser with Retro Kitchen, and remember that life stinks, play games. I'm going to leave a link to the recipe in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe, and please stay tuned for more fun content from this channel. Stay awesome.